This is the Louie T Network.
Louie T Live. Who else could it be but me, your me, Louie T? Welcome to Winners and Losers, Week 7 edition. Boy, it was a rough week for a lot of us. Wow, the NFL has been such a joy this year. It started off kind of slow. You remember how everyone was complaining about the quality of games and how it's been boring this year and the ratings are down, and a lot of people tried to attribute it to the lack of competitive football. Some people contributed to the anthem and people kneeling and not coming out of the locker room and things of that nature. And I said, don't worry. The level of competition in this league will tighten up as the offense catches up with the defenses. Well, offenses have revved it up, and all of a sudden now these games are entertaining. And I've never seen a season quite like this where everyone has a chance to win the Super Bowl. And I told you 2 weeks ago, there are 24 teams, legitimately 24 teams in the league with a chance to win the Super Bowl. And with Aaron Rodgers going down this past weekend, that number is firmly cemented at 24. I thought it would have dwindled down to about 20. And in the next 2 weeks or so, it'll dwindle down to about 20 to 16. And then we'll be around 16 for about a good 3/4 of the season. And then as we get towards the end, we'll start to see 12 teams emerge from the pack. Those will be your playoff teams. And then every single team, and I haven't been able to say this in I don't know how long, but every single team that is in the playoffs will have a legitimate shot at winning the Super Bowl. And I don't know if in my lifetime that's ever been the case. There have always been 2 or 3 teams in each conference that you said to yourself, okay, they're the upper echelon. One of those 2 or 3 teams are going to win the Super Bowl in that conference, or at least go to the Super Bowl. A lot of times those lower tiered seeds, you like, yeah, they're in there. They may win a game or 2. They may compete, but they're not good enough to beat this team or that team. This year, if you make it to the playoffs, you get a ticket to the dance, you got a chance to go all the way and win the thing. No one is dominant this year, and that's fun. For every fan base out there, hell, the Jacksonville Jaguars stand a chance, which is amazing to say, but because they play defense and can run the football, they got a chance. Everyone, with the exception of about 8 teams, have a legitimate shot at winning the Super Bowl this year. It's crazy. It's crazy to say that, but that is a fact. And the fact that we keep losing a ton of games every week shows us just how much parity is around this league right now. No one has a clue. Every year, I think I figure it out right around week 5 or 6. I have no clue. There are certain things that I know. I told you on this very program last week, I guaranteed that the Steelers would win. They won. I told you that Jacksonville would lose. They lost. There are certain things that I can kind of catch patterns and figure them out. But normally, there are certain teams you can say, okay, they're going to win, they're going to win, they're going to win, they're going to lose, they're going to lose. You can't do that this year. No one thought Miami was going to go into Atlanta and win. They did. Okay? No one thought the Giants, and I mean no one. I think one person out of 57 entries picked the Giants to win, and that person's sheet was just all over the damn place. They might have picked every single team that Vegas pegged as a favorite. They might have picked the underdog in that game. That's what it seemed like they did on their sheet. So that, I kind of just threw that one out. No one expected the Giants to go into Denver and win, but they did. And so it was that kind of week where you had no clue as to how some of the outcomes of these games would be reached. But, man, it was amazing to watch some of these games unfold the way that they did. And that's what has made this program, and for that matter, a lot of these programs this season, so much fun to do, including this one, because this is a unique show that we're going to do tonight because something has happened for the first time in the history of my channel since I've been doing pick shows. And so we'll get to that a little bit later on. But welcome to the show. Welcome to the program. I thank each and every single one of you out there for joining me on Winners and Losers. Got a lot to get to tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and jump straight to the proceedings this evening after I let you know that we're changing the game over here on the Louie T Network, so why wouldn't you want to subscribe? I don't even know why I'm asking you to subscribe. You should just do it. We're changing the game over here, and I want you to help us do that by simply hitting that subscribe button and becoming a member of the Louie T Network. Down in the screen down below right here, all of my social media platforms, the links to all of those social media platforms are down in the description below. And also down there, you can find ways to donate to the Louie T Network. I had a viewer correct me. Thank you so much for helping me out, because for the last few days, I've been calling this site Patreon. It's Patreon. And I've been jacking up the name loud and wrong and saying it strong. And so he was like, hey, man, hey, just to let you know, it's Patreon, bruh. Appreciate that, man. Good looking out. And so Patreon is a really unique site, and I'm going to be doing some big things with that. And if you can donate, donating through Patreon is going to be your best bet. And I'll have a video reflecting why sometime in the next few days, so that I can kind of break down what you will be getting if you elect to donate through Patreon and are in one of the tiers that I have set up for exclusive members of the Louie T Network. So I thank you in advance for any contributions. For those of you who have already given, who will continue to give, who plan to give, I thank you in advance so much for all of your help. This channel is starting to take off, and a lot of the ideas and things that I want to do, it takes resources, it takes capital, it takes more of my time. The way that I can devote more of my time is to have more resources, which will allow me to spend more time doing this. And so in order for me to take that next step, all donations are welcome, and I thank you in advance. And if you can't give, all I ask is that you continue to support this channel the way that you always have, watching, liking, sharing these videos, and continuing to spread this to the masses, and allowing this channel to continue to grow. So I thank you again so much for all that you have done, all that you continue to do, and all that you will do in the future for this channel. That being said, let's jump into the proceedings this evening. Let's get straight to the winners this week. And wow, the winners in week number 6. Cue the crickets. For the first time in Louie T Network history, nobody hit double digits. Not a single person hit double digits. You can turn the lights off on the winners. Turn the lights off. Save some electricity this week. We're just going to go straight to the winners, man. Turn the lights off. And yikes. It was that bad. I've never seen it this way. The parity in this league is unquestionably the biggest it's ever been, the most widespread it's ever been. And I think that is the best reflection of that right there. Not a single person. All 57 entries, not one came back as a winner this week. We're all losers. So celebrate! We all together this week. One big happy family, man. Look to your neighbor next door and say, hey, you a loser, man. Because everybody's a loser this week. So let's jump into the losers. We're going to let the losers worry about losing. Well, that's every single one of us this week. And so I'm proud, though. I'm proud to say that my man, he's gonna love this, because we're boxing fans. And there's nothing more refreshing than watching a great fight, but you know who won the fight. And they put the little split screen up. And when they put that split screen up, you know, you got the two fighters and all of their whole camp around them, and they're waiting anxiously to hear the decision. And one side is the champion, the other side is the challenger. And you know, if Michael Buffer says, and the new, then you know that belt has changed hands, and you win, and you fall out, and they pick you up, and they put you on their shoulders, and you get those belts. It's a beautiful feeling. And this week, we got a new leader in the clubhouse. And new champ, my man Sean Mack, and new leader in the clubhouse, Sean Mack, holding it down at 9-5. He's been the most consistent picker all season long. All season long, without a doubt. This man has been tap dancing around double digits all season long, and you can call him a loser. No longer, okay? Every week, if he's not in double digits, he's at 9. He's not going much lower than 9. And while everybody else is fluctuating, they may get 11 this week, drop down to 6 the next week. Sean Mack is just walking that nice, straight, narrow line. Hey, 9. What you got? 6? I got 9. What you got? 8? I got 9. What you got? 7? I got 9. Oh, you got 11? I got 9. But they add up. And while everybody's going up and down, Sean is like, I'm keeping it even keel, baby. And that's the way you do it, man. Consistency. I've said this from day one. It doesn't change. You know, the names change. The people who participate change. The winners and losers change. But consistency remains the same. And that'll get you a win every single time. My man Sean Mack has been as consistent as it's gotten this season. And he was the only one to put up 9 wins this week. So he's, in effect, the de facto biggest winner / loser of the week, because he was the only one to get 9 right. And I think there was one game that he kind of went out on the limb for, and had he not done that, probably would have had double digits. But it doesn't matter. This is what this man does. He gets 9, and he keeps it moving, and it's gotten him to the top of winners and losers. Congratulations to my man Sean Mack, as he is now in the leader, on the top of the leaderboard on winners and losers. We go to 8-6, and these were scarce too. I mean, everybody struggled this week. So 9-5, 8-6, people above the Mendoza line weren't many of them, because it was such a tough week. But for the second week in a row, if I'm not mistaken, worst ever didn't make the worst ever picks. And again, he's starting to get better. I think last week he might have put up 9, if not 9, 8, and he does it again. Look, we're not glorifying losing here. Okay, 8-6 is good. It's still not great. But when you're the best of the worst, there's something to be said about that. And there's a lot of bad going on here. And when you can say, I'm one of the best of the worst, on a day where there are no winners at all, not bad to be 8-6. Brandon Sullivan is a newcomer that jumped on board, and I've told you this before. I'm not impressed by newcomers, because they show up one week, I don't see them the next. And most of the time, that's the case for people who come in out of the gate and they struggle. 6-8, 5-9 right out the gate. Like last week, High Reptile Lord or something like that. Remember I talked about that guy, and I was like, wow, he struggled. Probably won't see him back ever again. It didn't come back this week. Doesn't surprise me. That's generally how it goes. When you struggle your first time in, usually you don't come back. You feel ashamed and you don't come back. But when you do it up like Brandon Sullivan did at 8-6, and again, not glorifying 8-6 as if that's great. It's good. It's not great, but it's better than most of us did this week. And so he should feel good about 8-6 in a week where most people were below the Mendoza line. He'll probably be back. Maybe he won't, but that's a good enough start that maybe Brandon Sullivan will be back next week. Good job in your first time making picks in a tough week to make picks. I'd say hats off to Brandon Sullivan. Eduardo O'Neill has actually been putting up some numbers of late, and he's been consistently moving up the leaderboard himself with some quality picks over the last couple of weeks. He started out a little rocky, but he's been hot of late, and so he continues. I'm not calling this hot. This is more of a lukewarm streak, but hey, better than cold, right? I've been cold. And so I can't really knock a man for being lukewarm. That's better than being cold. And so PD Pablo, same difference. Not in the winner's circle, but I can't tease him for his thumbnail of Squidward, or what's SpongeBob's best friend? I forgot his name. Is it Squidward? No, it's not Squidward. It's Patrick. I can't tease him for being Patrick this week. Last week, I think he won 9. This week, he won 8. He's been making some quality picks, man. Still not a winner. But in any event, 8-6 in a week where most people either were sitting on that bench at 7-7 or below the Mendoza line. Again, I can't knock the hustle, man, at all. And Mr. Silent Nation, remember, he had a big week last week. He was actually a winner last week. Not quite the same effect this week, but still talking loud enough so we can hear him. And so Mr. Silent Nation continuing to carry a big stick, and he's talking pretty loudly right now. And I love it. Want more of it. We'll see if he can continue to be consistent. Like my man Sean Mack, that's what everybody should be striving for, consistency. Not falling off the cliff. It's okay to not win, but it's not okay to be horrible. And I can't respect the cats that somehow find it okay to have double-digit losses or go 5-9, 6-9 in a week. That's inexcusable. You're going to have slip-ups. They happen. There's a 6-8 week in there for all of us. You're going to have one of those weeks where you go outside the box, you think you got a hunch on a couple of teams, they let you down, and then some teams that you expected to win don't get it done, and next thing you know, you've had a terrible week. It happens to the best of us. But the key is to minimize those weeks and maximize the weeks where you win 9 or better. And Mr. Silent Nation starting to eliminate the bad weeks and starting to put together a string of good weeks. We'll see if he can continue that moving forward as we get to the 7-7 cats. And like I told you last week, the bench is long, man. It's a long Mendoza line. It's got chairs lined up and down the bench. And there's seats, man, for everybody that wants to have one. So let's jump on and see who all is sitting on the line, watching everybody up above the Mendoza line and looking at everybody down. They got a great view because they right on the damn Mendoza line. More like the equator. You know what I mean? They're looking up. They're looking down. They're right there. And so let's get this party started. We got Mark Vaughn. We got Money Miz 14. Dark Fierce Fire Gaming. Cloud. Mexican Cracker 8989. So let's start with Mark Vaughn. Mark Vaughn, I think he was okay last week, if I'm not mistaken. This is as average can get. And so in a week where a lot of people struggled, I'm not going to kill people for 7-7. Nobody won this week. So 7-7, while it's not great, you didn't go below the Mendoza line. And so there's something to be said about that. But make no mistake about it, 7-7 is not good. Okay, Money Miz 14. I love this guy because he's always talking trash. And he said, "Hey, I'm gonna just keep my mouth shut until I start putting up some dubs." I think that's a good move, Money Miz. I think you finally smartened up to the point where you realize I'm stinking it up. I probably shouldn't be talking. You're right. And me and you are kind of in the same boat. I mean, I almost feel bad for chastising people because I haven't been in the winner's circle since like week 4. Since like week 3. It's been a while for me. It's hard for me to even look at somebody. But if you're below the Mendoza line, I have every right to, because I generally don't go down there. I went down there once this year. I don't plan on going back. And so generally I chastise those people. But when you're on the 7-7 Mendoza line, not really much I can say to you right now because I haven't been putting in the type of work that allows me to talk trash about other people my damn self. Except for people like Dark Fierce Fire Gaming and the whole gaming community here on Winners and Losers. They're at home on this side of the bracket, and they're going to continue to be there. And this week is no different. 7-7 is an improvement for Dark Fierce Fire Gaming, actually, if you can believe that. But still, not something that you want to brag about. But maybe he's going up. And maybe he'll take a vacation and actually go to the winner side of things. But we all know where his physical address and location is here on the loser side. And he continues that streak at 7-7. Cloud, I think this is a better week than last week for Cloud. I think Cloud was right around 6-8, 5-9 last week. So this is a step up. Still dark clouds. All right. Still not a ray of sunshine coming out of those clouds. Skies aren't blue. Pretty still dark out. And Cloud, his Eagles are winning though. So he's still on cloud 9, even though his picks are right around cloud 1 or 2. But in any event, I think that may come to an end this week too. We will see. And MC8989, last week I said, "Hey man, you probably won't be back." And the man said, "Not only am I back, put some respect on my name." Hey bro, welcome back, man. I respect the fact that you came back. Last week you went 7-7. This week you went 7-7. Safe to say you're pretty average at this, man. And there's nothing wrong with being average. Everybody can't be great at this. You know what I mean? Somebody's got to be the trash man. Like everybody can't make $1 million. Everybody can't be celebrities. Everybody can't be the president of the United States. So we got to have people work at McDonald's. We got to have people work in sanitation. You may be one of the people that picks up the trash, and that's fine. We need those type of people here on Winners and Losers, just like we need those people in society. We need those kind of people, and there's nothing wrong with that. As we continue on, you got Smoking Jay, Vegeta's Dark Side, Disco Jump Rope, Young Mellow, Sad Colts Fan. So looking at this crew, Smoking Jay continues to smoke that stuff that keeps him from getting to the winner circle. Again, the first step in the road to recovery when you're addicted to losing is to admit you have a problem. And Smoking Jay, I need you to admit that you have a problem, put the substances down, and start making quality picks, my man. As soon as you can admit to yourself, hi, my name is Smoking Jay, and I have a problem, then we can start correcting the problem. But until you do that, we're never going to start gaining ground, Smoking Jay. You're going to be a loser. And I think there's a winner somewhere deep inside of you, bro. I'm dying for him to come out and meet me. But I don't know where he is because you haven't admitted that you have a problem. You're addicted to losing, bro. But there is help out there. And we want to help. But I need you to admit you have a problem. Put the narcotics down. Start making better picks. I know you can do it, Smoking Jay. We're all rooting for you. Vegeta's Dark Side. I just want to see where Vegeta's bright side is. He started out really well. I mean, the first couple of weeks, I'm like, man, this guy's kicking ass. And we've truly seen Vegeta's dark side now. And I'm actually looking forward now to seeing Vegeta's bright side. I actually want to see the good in Vegeta, not the dark side, not the evil Vegeta that's winning 7 and 6 and 5 games. I actually prefer the guy that was winning 10 and 11 games. So if I could get that Vegeta back, that'd be nice. But I mean, it's whatever you want to do. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. I'm only here to help the people who want help. That's it. I can't help you if you don't want help yourself. Same thing I was just saying to Smoking Jay. Disco Jump Rope, brand new to the program, been watching, been lurking, decided to finally participate. Welcome aboard. 7-7. Not a great start, but not the worst start either. You could have been 6-8. You could have been 5-9. Okay? So my advice to you is just be better. That's as simple as it gets. Just be better. You were average or mediocre. You were okay this week. It's not okay to be okay, though. Just so you know, it's not okay to be okay. Let's just be better. Sounds easy enough, right? Right. Young Mellow. I thought because the basketball season started this week, Young Mellow would actually be 10-4. I just thought he would be so excited that hoops was getting back into the swing of things, and we had 2 great games yesterday, and I said, Mellow is going to be on cloud 9. Sorry, Cloud. No offense. But Mello was going to be shooting J's, hitting trays, and getting dubs. I was wrong. Basketball season had no effect on young Mello. And even though he got to class on time this week, like he did last week, and when he got to class on time last week, he actually did pretty well. This week, mediocre. And it's okay. Couple more days in the gym, young Mello, and you too can start knocking down shots and getting into the winner's circle, man. I got confidence in you. I think you can do it, man. So I think sky's the limit for young Mello if he continues to put forth the effort. That's what it's going to take. A couple more days in the gym, a week, a couple more hours in the gym, and I think you too can be in the winner's circle, my man. Sad Colts fan. It's been a rough season for your Colts, and it just got worse. Andrew Luck is probably going to miss the entire season now. He re-aggravated his shoulder. They stopped him from throwing. At this point, you're not going to win anything. You're probably not going to win the AFC South. You're not good enough just put the man on IR, let him fully heal, and come back and get after it next year. And if you ask me, the best thing you could do is put Jacoby Brissett on full display for everyone to see and see if you can't get something for him. I don't have a problem with that. In the meantime, your picks, they're sad too. And you have been inconsistent. You've been good, you've been bad, and frankly, there's been times where you've been sad. And your name says it all. And this was one of those weeks where you saw your team on Monday night. They had a shot. They didn't get it done. You refused to. Well, let me check because I know Enrique Iglesias is a Colts fan, and he refuses to not pick his team, and he went down with them again this week. And I don't want to put you in that same boat, but I am going to check and consult my sheet real quick to see if you, in fact, picked your Colts. And they gave it a run in the first half, like they always do. But as we've seen all season long, they struggled in the fourth quarter. And they did it again in this game. So I'm going to find your picks somewhere on this sheet. And normally that means when you're hiding, you did the unthinkable. Nope, you picked Tennessee. Smart man. You would have been 6-8 had you not. So even though you're a sad Colts fan, you're a smart Colts fan. You didn't pick your team. Good job. That spared you right there. So in any event, we move on. 3-11 Atlas, Big John, Pepe the YouTuber, 8-Ball NFL, and yes, unfortunately, your man, Louie T. Yet again, straddling that Mendoza line like we're best friends. I'm holding on to the damn Mendoza line in 7-7 like that's my pillow at night. I'm holding that line way too tight. I gotta let it go, man. It's getting old fast. I can't take it anymore, man. I guaranteed 9, and the 2 that were supposed to get me the 9, I did everything right this week to get my 9. I mean, I really did. The most frustrating part is it's not when I don't get to double digits. It's when I tell myself, all right, here's the number. And I set the number at 9 because I knew some nonsense. I accounted for the nonsense. I did. That's why I didn't say double digits. I said, there's only 14 games. I'm accounting for some nonsense to go on. I got 9. I got a strong 9. You know how you play in spades? You're like, I got a 3 and a possible, strong possible. Well, I had 9, and I was like, this is a strong 9 and a possible. But I knew I had 9, and that's why I guaranteed 9. And I told you the Steelers was going to win, and a lot of people said, man, this guy is crazy. He's going to end up below the Mendoza line again. I said Jacksonville was going to lose, and everything worked out just the way I intended. New Orleans got it done. All the games that I expected to go a specific way went that way. And then the Denver Broncos and the Atlanta Falcons dropped the goddamn football. That was my 9. That was 9. There was no way the Falcons were supposed to lose. There was no way the Broncos were supposed to lose. I was supposed to win 9 games. That's the way the cookie crumbles. I'm not here to complain. I got to 7-7. I gained some ground on some people that were ahead of me. So I feel good about what I was able to turn in. I didn't do anything wrong this week. For the first time in a long time, I didn't do anything wrong this week. I didn't pick the Browns. I didn't do anything stupid. The Ravens let the Bears come into their house and beat them. I didn't do anything wrong. So I don't feel bad. But anyway, 3-11 Atlas, the artist or the prognosticator formerly known as DW2 Elite Atlas, you can't run from your past on this show, okay? You can change your name, and I love the fact that you embrace your 3-11 Piss Cup ultimate accomplishment last week, but you can't run from your past here. We all know who you are, and I'm glad that you are able to make light of a situation that was very dark last week and quite frankly, very yellow and pissy and smelly. So good for you, and way to bounce back. Look, 7-7 is not great by any stretch of the imagination, but neither is 3-11. And to go from 3-11 to 7-7, I tip my cap to you. And I'm glad you understood last week when I told you you were banned from making picks this week. I'm glad you didn't take it seriously. I was only kidding. I keyed, okay? Always in jest, always in fun, but glad to see you bounce back somewhat. 7-7, still not great, but hey, it's way better than 3-11, my man. So good for you. Big John, I'm really disappointed in you, man. You've been making you and Sean Mack probably have been the two most consistent winners this season, and yet you didn't send me picks last week. I was so disappointed in you. You would have been right up there among the top in the top 10 had you just sent me picks, because most likely you would have won 8 to 10 games last week because you've been that good this year. Why did you miss a week, man? Now you put yourself behind the 8 ball. And you've been so good this year. I think 7-7 might have been the worst you've done this season. That's how good you've been this year. And you didn't send me picks last week. Why? That's all, I just got a question for you. Why? Pepe the YouTuber, inconsistent. 1 week he's 9-5. The next week he's 7-7. The next week he'll be, and we got 15 this week. So I expect a lot more winners next week than, obviously this week doesn't count, but last week when there were only 3. I expect a number of winners. We got 15 games, no excuse for a lot of double-digit winners next week. But in any event, I can see Pepe going 11-4 next week. But then after that, I could easily see him dropping back down to 6-8 the following week. I mean, the inconsistency, the fluctuations, they scare me. But we'll see. 8-ball NFL, like I said, with a name like that, you expect brilliance. You expect a guy that's like a Swami. And he's far from it. And let me see what he did last week, because I think last week was another down week for 8-ball. And he's been struggling, man. 8-ball went 6-8 last week, 7-7 this week. So I guess that's improvement. I guess. So, I mean, it is what it is. At some point, I think 8-ball's actually got some double-digit weeks in his future. I see that coming for him. And so at some point, he's going to snap out of his funk and he's going to get it going. I truly believe that. And I'll be right there with you when you do. And so we'll see what happens. Maybe we can both make that leap together, because both of us been tripping over the last few weeks. And I think you've got some winning weeks ahead of you. And I'll be right there with you, too. As we move on to the cats that weren't fortunate enough to keep their head above water this week, I'm talking about the cats that slid below the Mendoza line at 6-8. You can't be great when you're 6-8. And this first person on this list was the first person to 50. And then after taking control and having the crown last week, he goes 6-8. How dare you? But because he had been so good throughout, he managed to keep a piece of the crown. So even though we have a new champion, we still have another champion in BE holding on by the slimmest of margins. We've got co-leaders in the clubhouse in BE and Sean Mack. And so even though BE wet the bed last week, he still managed to stay atop the leaderboard. But another week like this, and BE will he won't even be in the top 3 if he does this again. This was a pathetic week by a guy that was, last week, BE was on one, okay? BE was on one on Twitter. BE was in the comment section giving it to us, talking about how he was going to run away with this thing. And that's why you got to love the NFL, because it humbles even the best of us. And BE was the best of us. He was the first to hit 50. He was starting to create separation. And what did the NFL do to his ass last week? Slapped him in his damn face and brought him back down to earth. Said, hey, man, you running your mouth a little too much. Let me bring your ass back down to earth. And he came crashing. Like that meteor on Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt, Joe Dirt, Joe Dirt. And he was eating off of it. It's not a meteor, Joe Dirt. That's space poo. Don't do that. ABE. That was a mirage, man. You're not going anywhere. You're going to be right here. You're going to have to fight for this. If you want this crown, you're going to have to fight for it. Some more weeks like 6-8, I'm going to tell you right now, you won't get it. You won't get it. Sin Day Co. BK Soldier 2010. And the struggle continues, man. The struggle is real for my man Andrew Kim. So Sin Day Co. 6-8, and I think last week Sindeko actually did pretty good, man. Yeah, he was 9-5 last week, so this is a pretty big step backwards for Sindeko on the program. Really disappointed in him, because I thought after what he did last week, I thought he was building on something. And we had a talk. Remember, he was like, man, why you got to call me out like that? Why you got to break my name up into syllables like that? And we had a heart-to-heart, and I thought that put him at ease, at peace with the situation. And now he can just go out with a clear mind and a clear and open heart and make quality sound picks. And he did that last week, and I thought that he was on the up and up. And then I looked at him, and obviously he picked his Panthers on Thursday. I made the mistake of doing that as well. And, that got him off to a bad start, and he never was able to really recover. And so we'll chalk it up to his Panthers sending him down the path of a slippery slope, if you will. When you start losing and you slip and you lose your footing and your feet are wet, it's hard for you to get back on your feet. In the words of a great man, he was slipping, he was falling, he couldn't get up. He was trying to get back on his feet so he could tear shit up, and he just couldn't get back on his feet. 6-8 for Sindeko, or as I like to call him, Sindeko. I'm looking for you to be better next week. Toe was really good last week, actually. I think he was a winner last week, one of the few. And you go from 10-4, and I think last week was his first ever showing on Winners and Losers. And this is why I talk about those first timers. They come back when they go 10-4. Let's see if he's back again after going 6-8. And he basically negated what he did last week at 10-4 with a 6-8. Now you're fighting to stay above 500. If my math is correct, now you're 16-14 on the season, and you're fighting to stay above 500. You can't have those fluctuations in wins and losses. I told you it's about consistency. Just ask my man Sean Mack. BK Soldier 2010. I thought he did pretty well last week too. He was 8-6 last week, and he went and took the inverse of that. And I'm pretty sure he picked his Jaguars, and he didn't understand the logic that I gave him. And I gave him the keys to the car last week, and he just refused to drive. I said, look, your Jags win every other week. Last week was a losing week. This week is a winning week. I gave you the formula, man. There's only so much I can do. All right? I'm like a math teacher. You can use your formula on the test. I can't show you how to implement the formula. All I can do is give you the formula. I can't show you how to solve the problem. I gave you the formula. Go solve the problem. You refuse to do so. So you're 6-8. You're going to win this week. The Jags are going to win this week. So you have the license to pick the Jacksonville Jaguars this week. They're going to win. But I'm going to need you to make – they weren't the only team that you picked that lost. Obviously, you lost 7 other games. I need you to step your game up, BK Soldier. Andrew Kim, my man. Hey, look, man, it's been rough. I ain't going to lie to you, man. I ain't never seen you struggle like this before. And I'm here for you, man. I'm here. Your man, Louie T, I know what you're going through. I've been there before. Not quite like what you're going through now. This is what? Where were you last week? 5-9 last week? 6-8 last week? Where were you at last week? Oh, you were 8-6. So it's not as bad. Look, a wise man once told me, nothing's as good as it seems, nothing's as bad as it seems. Somewhere in between, reality falls. That's where you are right now, Andrew Kim. It seems like the sky is falling for you because you're used to at least tasting the winner's circle, a taste of victory every so often. You usually don't go 3 or 4 weeks without tasting the winner's circle. I get it. You haven't been there in quite some time, but 8-6 last week means that you're not as bad as you. I saw one of your comments. You're like, man, I've never been this bad for this long, ever. It's not as bad as you think. You were 8-6 last week. And while 8-6 is still losing, granted, 6-8, this stinks. And you're better than this. And just by looking at some of your pictures, I know you're a fisher. You can fish better than this, bruh. You can catch more wins than this. Maybe you need to change your bait. And I heard you telling me you were going to change your bait. You said, hey, man, I might have to come off picking my Ravens because we stink on offense. Sometimes you got to change the bait in order to catch more fish. In your case, you got to change some of your picks to win more games. You're going to be fine, AK. Just change the bait. Just change the bait. AP 9000, Teddy Roachless, X Final Gaming, Kanye the God, and Enrique Valencia, a.k.a. Enrique Iglesias. Bailamos, let the rhythm take you over. Bailamos, oh quiero te amo. Bailamos. Dance! 6 and 8, Enrique, dance! One day, you too can get above the Mendoza line. You've been brutally bad, Enrique. I don't know how to fix what you got going on. And you continue to pick the Colts, which just makes it that much worse. I'm not talking to you this week. I don't have much to say to you. Let's talk to Kanye. Because last week I asked Kanye, was Jesus not walking with him? Is it because he was a college dropout? Maybe you need to go get your GED, bruh. It's never too late. Don't let anybody tell you it's ever too late to be educated, man. You're far from a god right now. And like I told you last week, much like Kanye West's career, your prognosticating career is on the downswing. And just like Kanye West, it's never too late to resurrect what was a tremendous start to a career. You can get back to what you once were, just like Kanye West. All it takes is that one album for everybody to forget about some of these duds. The Life of Pablo. And I'm not saying it was a terrible album. It's just not what I'm used to from Kanye. I'm just saying, all it takes is one. You just need 1 week. You just need one hit. You just need that one album. Just 1 week. And you could be back. Boy, I miss the days of Spaceship. Just like you miss the days of winning. Maybe you can get back to that, man. We'll see. X Final Gaming. Are you surprised? Anybody out there, are you surprised? I'm not piling on the man. I'm not going to be the man while he's down. And bottom line is, this is where the man lives. Why should I get upset when I come knocking on his door and he answers the door? Duh, he lives here. It'd be one thing if I knocked on my door and he answered my door. Wait a minute, what are you doing? Why are you in my house? This is his house. This is the gaming community. Why should I be surprised? You shouldn't be surprised either. Teddy Roachless. Teddy. I think you've been on a really rough patch of late, Teddy. Yeah, you were 6 and 8 last week, bruh. 6 and 8 again this week. It's rough, Teddy. I know. When you're not used to winning and the going gets tough, cats like yourself struggle. And it's okay. It'll ease up eventually. And when it does, I expect people like yourself to get better and make better picks and start to win again. But you're not good enough to overcome adversity when it hits. You need everything to be perfect. You need the environment to be still. You need everything around you to be ideal. You need conditions around you to be ideal for you to succeed. And that's fine. Again, not everybody is good in pressure-packed and pressure-filled situations. And you fit that mold. You're not good in those types of situations. You panic. You freeze up. You ever heard of fight or flight? Well, you don't run and you don't fight. You freeze. What do I do? Maybe if I just stand here like a possum, play dead, no one will know. No, we know you're going 6 and 8 every week, bro. You can't run. That's the beauty of this program. You can't run from your past. It follows you wherever you go. And so if it's good, it'll help you out in times of need. If it's bad, we're just going to pile on you. It's going to follow you, and we're just going to say, hey, this is what this man is. We'll see if you can snap out of it. If the league gives you a break and the games get easier, maybe you'll win. AP9000, I'm just really disappointed in you. I'm simply just disappointed in you because I know you're better than 6 and 8. What did you do last week? You were 7 and 7 last week. So you've been on a steady decline. And I know you're better than this. And so I'm not going to beat you up. I'm not. I'm just going to tell you to be better because I know you're better than this. And like I said, we all hit rough patches. But you've shown me over time that you can be consistently good at this. So I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. But if you struggle again next week, I'm going to have to talk to you, man. I'm going to have to pull you aside and we're going to have to talk. But right now, I'm just going to tell you to be better, bro. Just be better. AJ Shadow 11. Kevin, I feel like Home Alone. I feel like the mama on Home Alone. Kevin! God damn it, Kevin. Why you make me do this to you, man? RG3 hashtag. Isaac Schnook. The Mister. And wow, a surprise. Surprise, surprise. Brown Shoe T2. We knew this was coming. For Brown Shoe T2. We knew it was coming. It was only so long he could keep up that charade of being one of the best. Now, he's been so good this year, I'm not going to do that to him today. I'm not. The man has been great to start this season off. So one bad week doesn't constitute me jumping on your back. I'm like I just did with AP9000. I'm just going to tell you to be better. Now, I am going to also tell you to watch out because I know you are a homer. And regardless of how bad your team is, you will pick your team every single week. And now that your team is winning and they're coming off of a bye, you think it's a good idea to pick them on the road versus Pittsburgh. And while it's family business and you have a shot to win, the Steelers have not been ultra impressive, tread lightly. That's all I'm saying to you. I'm just warning you, tread lightly, because I know how you can go into a funk very quickly. All it takes is one bad week for you to start to remember where you came from. And I'm asking you to not do that, to not go back to what you used to be, but to be the best version of yourself, which is what you've done this year. Put your best foot forward. Continue to do that. You had a bad week. I'm going to let that one go. And I'm going to tell you, tread lightly this week. Pick wisely. That's all I'm going to say to you. The Mister. Bruh, you're just not good at this. Let's face it. Let's call a spade a spade. Maybe you should have stuck with magic, whatever. Maybe you would have had some magic at this point, but you're just not good at this, bro. And it's okay. Like I said earlier, not everyone is cut out to be prognosticators. And look, it's okay to do this for fun. And if you're one of those juice box and bag of chips guys, then hey, you just keep on making picks and you keep on losing, but you're having a great time. Okay? If that's you, if you're going to be the dad when you have kids, or if you already have kids, if you're the dad that said, hey, Joey, you are horrible out there, but you gave it your all, and I'm proud of you. If you're one of those dads, then you know what? Good for you. Glad, because there needs to be dads out there like that. There needs to be people out there like, I'm not one of those people. God damn it, Joey, you got to play better. You were supposed to be in the B gap, Joey. Put your damn helmet in his chest. Put his dick in the dirt, Joey. Got to be better than that. Joey's only 8. Yeah, I know, I'm bad. However, there has to be people like me in the world too. And maybe you're just a juice box and a potato chip bag, and everybody gets a trophy, and everybody gets a gold chain and a gold pendant, and everybody wins. And maybe you're one of those guys. And it's okay. You can keep sending your picks in. You can keep losing every week. But God darn it, you had a great time. You had fun. And you gave it your best shot. Maybe you're one of those dudes. And if you are, bless your heart. AJ Shadow 11. First time up, 6-8. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because it happened to me last week. It happened to me the week before. It happened to me the week before that, where I get a cat for the first time, show up, go 6-8, never see him again. I suspect you'll be the same way, AJ Shadow. It was nice meeting you. You got scared because you saw your shadow. It was 6-8. You never came back. That's fine. I'm okay. My favorite person of the week. My favorite person. We have hit my favorite person of the week. Jaleel. Do y'all remember what I said to Jaleel last week? You probably don't. But because I'm such a nice guy, I have it for you. I have it in the archives. But before I replay what I said last week, here's what Jaleel said to me. Jaleel said, hey, by the way, he listed his picks, had a little comment at the bottom, talked a little trash, and then said, hey, by the way, I'm not going 6-8. Where do you see Jaleel's name at on this list, guys? Do you remember what I said? And I said it about 3 or 4 times last week, but I'm just going to give you a synopsis of what was said last week to my man Jaleel. Here it is. Take a look. Jaleel, you've been slipping, bro. You started out with some quality picks, and it just seemed like each week your picks, the level and quality of your picks diminish and diminish. I expect you to be under the Mendoza line next week. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to make a bold prediction for next week. You're going to be 6-8 next week, because each week you steadily decreasing in the level and quality of the picks you sending in. So I think you started out right around 11-5 one week, 10-6, something like that. And steadily you have declined to the point now where you are tap dancing on the Mendoza line. Next week, you're going to be under there. I'm going to be looking down at you like, damn, homie. 2 weeks ago, you was the man, homie. The F happened to you. You're going to be below the Mendoza line. I'm calling it right now. And in this next week, no one should be below the Mendoza line. And I'm putting that on your head right now. Now, when I'm wrong, you'll hear me. I'll tell you I'm wrong. But when I'm right, God damn it, you're going to know I was right. And what did I tell you guys? I've been doing this long enough where I can tell when a person's struggling and when they're trending downward. Like I just told 8-Ball NFL, bro, you're going to get back in the winner's circle. Because I can see when a person makes picks, where they're losing games and what they're doing. And I'm like, okay, that wasn't bad picks. They just had some tough luck. It happens to the best of us. Jaleel, I can see he was on the downswing of things. And I said, Jaleel, you're steadily hitting that decline, man. And you know where you're heading? You're heading for below the Mendoza line. And he said, no, I'm not. I'm not going to be 6-8. Hey, don't try to master, man. Don't do that, man. Don't test me. I do this. This is what I do. I told you, I'm a professional football watcher. I'm also a professional person and people reader, okay? I can see through your bullshit, Jaleel. You were 6-8 this week. I told you that last week. Now, where do you go from here? There's nowhere but up. I can't see you losing more than 8 games next week. There's 15 games on the slate. You'll get back to winning some games. You'll be fine. But you had to taste below the Mendoza line because I said so. Because that's the bottom line because Louie T said so. So you had to hit below the Mendoza line at 6-8. And it's okay. Because I told you were going to be 6-8. Now you are free to go and be the best Jaleel you can possibly be. All right? I just had to make sure you know. Don't come at the king. Because if you come at the king, you better not miss. Finally, we move on. And let's see where we are. We are at the 5-9 Cats. Ugh. That's nasty. Now we getting into that territory where you really, really struggled this weekend. Yeah, it was a tough weekend. Yeah, some teams won that weren't supposed to, but you did some things that you weren't supposed to either. A lot of things that you weren't supposed to do. And we're going to start off with Colton Campbell, Carmen Rana, Ginger Callum, and Ricky Lemmeyer. Now, Colton Campbell last week I thought had a solid week, but I could be wrong, and he could be struggling. But I thought he was solid last week. See if we can find him. He was 8-6 last week, and I thought he was solid last week. So I'm not gonna kill Colton, but I will say 5-9, bro. You pushing it. You are pushing it, brother. All right. That is again, and that's a huge discrepancy from 6-8 to 5-9. Again, that shows a lack of consistency. It's one thing to go from 9-5 to 7-7. Still didn't dip below the Mendoza line. Hell, you may even slip up and go 6-8. It happens. But 5-9? That's scary, bro. That's scary. All right? Carmen Rana, look. I don't have much more to say to my man Carmen Rana. I told you, he's the silent assassin. Carmen Rana doesn't say a word. He just sends me his picks every week. And I told you, Carmen Rana could be 11-5 one week and then turn around and be 7-7 the next. 2 weeks ago, Carmen Rana was in the winner's circle at like 11-3 or 11-4. And then the following week, Carmen Rana was 5-9, and this week Carmen Rana is 5-9 again. Remember, Carmen Rana was the leader in the clubhouse 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. That's Carmen Rana for you, man. There's really not more. What more can I say? There's really not much more to me say about Carmen Rana than this is what you get. And next week, he could be 11-4. That's what Carmen Rana does. Ginger Callum, however, is a little different story. Ginger Callum started out like gangbusters. I mean, like a shooting star. Ginger Callum took off first couple of weeks, and Ginger Callum has been horrid since. I mean, every single week. Ginger Callum last week was 5-9. Ginger Callum the week probably before that was probably 5-9. Ginger Callum has been funky since like week 3. All right, it's been really, and when I say funky, I'm not talking 7-7, 8-6, 6-8. I'm talking 5-9 and worse. I think the week before that, Ginger Callum might have been 4-10. It's been that bad. And it's really getting out of control now. You need to drink some milk. Does your body good and may even do your pick some good. You're real scraggly and scrawny right now. Need you to get your weight up. And I don't care if it's chocolate milk, strawberry milk, whatever you got to do. I don't care. I don't drink milk. But I encourage you to drink some form of milk. Get you some protein. Get you some calcium. Get you some vitamin D. Strengthen up your bones. Strengthen up your fight, your will to fight. Don't be like the mister and have no backbone and allow yourself to lose and lose big every week. It's not okay. Now, you may be like the mister and it may be okay to lose. And again, not everybody is hyper competitive. Some people are okay with just participating and getting a participation trophy. And if you're one of those people, Ginger Callum, by all means, keep sending in pics, keep being horrible, and keep feeling like you gave it your best shot. And that's okay for you and the mister. Ricky Lemmeyer, I think you were actually pretty good last week. You were 9-5. I'm not going to kill you. You're a newcomer. I think you've been pretty solid. This is the inverse of what you did last week, so that scares me. I'm putting you on alert. I'm watching you. I've got my eye on you. I just turned up the telescope on you. I zoomed in. I'm watching you. You got one more week to prove that this isn't who you are. But 9-5 to 5-9, that's scary. We proceed though. Andrew Trigg, Leo Cease, Joe Shop, Tank 3281, Protect 428, or my man FBG Tony. So, Andrew Trigg was heating up. And last week was a big week for him because his goal, and you know how I always tell you when you start out rough, like for instance, the Los Angeles Chargers, they started out 0-4. And I said, before you can try to make power moves, before you can start talking reckless about doing this and doing that, you must do what first? You must get back to 500. That's the rules. I didn't make them. They're the rules. You must abide by them, right? So before you can start talking about making the playoffs or winning the division, you must first get back to 500. Then I will listen. Then everybody else will listen. But until you do that, no one wants to hear from you. All right? Same thing with Cincinnati. When they started 0-3, I said, look, this is not a bad football team. They started off slow, but I don't want to hear from any Cincinnati Bengal fans until you get back to 500. Well, they are close to doing that. They are one win away from getting back to 500 and being right in the thick of things in that AFC North division. Same thing can be said for Andrew Trigg. He said, look, I want to catch Andrew Kim. Well, he got a late start, but he got on his horse and he was giddy up. And he was coming. And last week was a big week. He went 8-6, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Yeah, he went 8-6 last week. Andrew Kim went 6-8, or did he go 8-6 too? No, he went 8-6. The week before, I think Andrew Trigg went like 8-6, and Andrew Kim went like 6-8, something like that. And he was making up ground. And I said, man, and Andrew's been slipping and tripping. We all know. And Andrew Trigg was coming. He was like, I'm coming. Well, this week was a step back. Because even though Andrew Kim slipped up and gave you an opportunity, he slipped on a banana peel. He spun out of control. You got hit with a red shell. It tracked you. You tried to swerve and dodge it. It still found you and hit you, knocked you upside down. And you went 5-9, and so you lost ground. So that's frustrating because I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get back to 500. I understand what you're trying to do. And I applaud you for having a goal and setting your sights on catching somebody. But you can't have 5 and 9 weeks if you're trying to get back to 500. If you're trying to catch Andrew Kim, that's not the way to do it. So I encourage you to get back on your horse and start giddy upping again. You can do it. You can do it. Leo Cease, you were good last week. Yeah, you were 9-5 last week, so I'm going to lay off. But much like I just told Ricky Lemmeyer, tell you the same damn thing. 9-5 to 5-9 scares me. So I got the binoculars on. I'm zooming in. I'm clearing the focus. Let's see what you got next week. That's going to determine how we start handling you from here on out. Because now we got 2 weeks, 2 bodies of work. 9-5, which is almost a winner, and 5-9, which is almost Piss Cup Ultimate worthy. So now I'm scared. And like I said earlier, nothing's as good as it seems, nothing as bad as it seems. Somewhere in between, reality falls. And that's probably where you and Ricky Lemmeyer belong. Somewhere in between. 7-7 is probably what you more along the lines of. But we'll see. Joe Shop. My man Joe. Joe made me laugh. I like when you guys make me laugh. Joe left me a comment and said, hey, look, man. Look, who are you to talk about wanting to be my friend? Last time I checked, you a damn loser too. So if you're not friends with losers, then I don't need to be friends with you because you're a loser too. Touche, Joe. Touche. Touche. God damn it, Joe. Touche. Now, here's the kicker. Joe, you're 5-9. I may be losing, but I'm not below the Mendoza line, Joe. Okay? Let's tighten up. Again, what's going on with these dull, sharp objects you keep pulling out? Again, knife to a gunfight, pen to a test. Your chest is in the line of the fire with your thin-ass vest. Come on, Joe. Tighten up. Now, I will say at the end of that comment, Joe said, hey, we can go win together. I like the sound of that, Joe, but you got a long way to go. I just got a couple of games here and there, and I'm back in the winning circle. You got a long way to go, Joe. You're 5-9 this week. That being said, I'm with it if you with it, man. If you want to go and win together, we can do that, man. I'm going. Are you going to be there? That's the question. We can be friends, but I can't associate with you if you're going to be 5-9. I can't. Can't do it. Tank 3281. I'm going to call this an off week for you. Off week. You were good last week. You were 9-5 last week. Again, you've been more good than bad, so there's more of a track record out there for you. However, much like Ricky Lemmeyer, much like Leo Cease, that's a scary proposition for me. 9-5 one week, 5-9 the next week. So I've got my eyes on you. We'll see what happens. But I know you're better than this. I expect you to be better. Same with my man FBG Tony. Wow, this is 2 weeks in a row, man. I don't know you right now, bro. Last week, I think you were 6-8 last week. Hold on a second. Maybe you were 7-7. You were 7-7 last week. I don't know you right now, though. Last week, I had a talk with you, and I said, I don't know this guy. Maybe you need to go back to being Protect 428. Because FBG Tony, I'm not going to lie to you. He ain't getting it done, bro. He's not getting it done. I've never seen you struggle like this before. 5-9? Not even on your worst day were you 5-9 last year. Not even on your worst day. Your worst day was 7-7 last year. 5-9 though? Where they do that at, Tony? Where they do that at? Not you, Tony. Not you too. I've already had one casualty. Not you too. Come on, man. Ha! RJ West, Vincent Coe, Caden Boyer, and Squints won. I told y'all we need a 0 for 0 for my man Hawk. And I already told you what it's titled. Who shot Hawk? And we still investigating right now. Who shot Hawk? And I need to know. Because whoever shot him, you got some lethal aim. Because this man has not been able to get back up and start to fly again, man. And much like someone that has knee surgery, who has to go through rehab to learn how to walk and do the things that they're accustomed to doing, Hawk's got to learn how to fly again. You shot him in his wing. It's got to heal. Then he's got to learn how to flap. And then he's got to get the courage to get back in the air and learn how to fly again, man. But I'm going to tell you what, that was a devastating shot. Whoever shot Hawk, you should be ashamed of yourself. But we're going to get to the bottom of it. 0 for 0. Who shot Hawk? Coming to the Louie T Network near you. Stay tuned as Hawk continues his endless pit of bad picks and his plummet to the bottom. And it's crazy. As bad as Hawk has been the last month, he's still right there, right around the top 10 somewhere. But I don't think he's ever going to get back into the top 5. That ship might have sailed with another bad week. Don't worry, Hawk. We're going to find out who shot you, bro. We ain't going to treat you like Biggie and Pop. We're going to find out who got you. We're going to bring him to justice. RJ West. Look, I'm tired of having the whole East Coast, West Coast, North, South, East, West, cardinal direction debate with you. Look, your GPS is off. All right. You need help. And like I said earlier, I'm here to help, man. But you got to admit that there's a problem. You don't know where the hell you're going. On the map, we don't use maps anymore. We use GPS. All right? Use them. Use it. It's a global tracking device. Global positioning system. Use it. It will help you. Don't use the map. Who uses maps anymore? Who uses MapQuest? You're lost, bruh. Don't be afraid to pull over, get you some Wi-Fi, and find out where the hell you're going. Because you're lost right now. You're lost. I can help you find your way home. I can get you back out west. I can. But you got to allow me to help lead the way. I'm here for you though, man. But like I said earlier with Smoking Jay, the first step on the road to recovery is admitting you have a problem. You got a problem, Blur. You're lost, bruh. You're lost. You're in the dark. Let me help you find the light. I got you. But I'm here for you. But you got to want help. Vincent Coe. It's a no-go for you, bro. You're done. I think this is starting to become a trend. Remember last week I said, hey, I'm watching you, Vincent, because I think you stink. You stink, man. You with the gaming community. You with RG3 hashtag. You stink. Just like that Febreze commercial. Man, Vincent Cole, we love you, bruh, but sometimes you stink. Well, you starting to stink a lot. And that Febreze ain't helping. It's like somebody who's not taking baths, that's not putting on deodorant, but they want to put on a bunch of cologne. You still stink. I can still smell the must on you. Now you smell like musty polo blue. That's not good. It's not good enough. Go take a bath. You stink. Go take a bath, Vincent Cole. Stop trying to put on cologne to mask the funk. You stink. You need a bath. Your picks have been bad. Fix it. Caden Boyer. I told you I was watching you last week. I think I did. What'd you do last week? You were 5-9 last week. I told you I was watching you. Much like Vincent Cole, you stink. I'm putting you in the doghouse. Because if I'm not mistaken, your thumbnail is one of Snoopy. Putting you in the doghouse. Take the little yellow bird with you too. I don't know his damn name. You know who I'm talking about. What is it? Woodstock? Take his ass with you. Go in the damn doghouse. Don't come out till you can make better picks. Squints. My man Squints. You are hot. Your Chargers, they hot. You are hot. The world, everything in the world was right just a week ago. I'm not going to kill you this week. Because you were 8-6 last week, and I think you were good the week prior to that. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But you were making better picks. So we're going to call this a slip up. But like I told Ricky, like I told Leo, I'm watching you. Because that's too big of a discrepancy for me. You see, I'm struggling too. I'm struggling too, just like you. You ain't seen a 5-9 though. I was 7-7 last week. I'm 7-7 this week. Even in the struggle, there's a consistency there. Even in the struggle. Now, if you're gonna consistently be bad, then just say that's you. Raise your hand. That's me. That's me. If that's you, then say it's you. Man up. But don't go 8-6 on me one week, 5-9 the next. I can't get with that. That takes us to a group that I'm damn near speechless. We 4-10 in it. Wow. I'm just gonna go ahead and expose them all. J Moo, OTS Flow, Flash Goodwin, Tucktown AZ. Yikes. Guys, what the hell happened? I'm just gonna lump all y'all together. I'm not gonna single y'all out. Y'all had enough anguish and pain this week. I don't need to pile on. I just want to know one thing. What the hell happened? What happened? Somebody? Anybody? Any answers? Look, a wise man once told me, if you don't learn from your past, you're doomed to repeat it. So I don't know the answer to why you guys thought it was okay to lose 10 games, to lose double digits. As a matter of fact, I don't want to know, okay? I just asked, never mind. Keep it to yourself. I just hope that you know what you did so you don't do it again. That's my hope for all of you. J Moo, bruh, what the hell? Not you. Not J Moo. Can't be. Couldn't be. OTS Flow. Flash Goodwin. Tucktown. I thought we had a connection last week. We established your gender, and I thought we were on to something. Look, bottom line is, figure it out. Figure it out. I don't have anything else really to say to you. I can't save you. You're 4-10. You went I can't swim, first of all. I can't swim. Not in the deep end. I might be able to venture into the 8-foot territory, be comfortable there. You all the way over there in the 12 feet of water. I can't go all the way down there. I can't reach you. I can throw a little buoy out for you, but I can't save you guys. You got to figure it out on your own. 4-10, I ain't got much to say to you. I don't. And remember 3-11 Atlas last week and how W2 Elite Atlas, for those of you who remember, the artist formerly known as DW2. Well, DW2 hit a level last week of ineptitude that we've never seen on this program. And it warranted the ultimate piss cup. And I didn't think we would see that again. But 3-11 Atlas, take solace in knowing you're no longer held in Louie T lore for being the worst ever. You got company at 3-11. And Bronco Kid, I don't know what happened, bro. Your Broncos let you down. You would have been 4-10 if they would have did what they were supposed to do. But look, that's no excuse for 3-11, man. I mean, damn. That's rough. And sometimes you get pissed on. You know? Sometimes you get ultra. Sometimes you get pissed on. Sometimes you sip from the fountain of piss. All I can say to you, Bronco Kid, is that you don't need to make picks next week. Take a week off. Your Broncos just came off a bye week. You need a bye week, bro. Take a week off. Reflect on what was one of the worst picking weeks in history of making picks. You were 3 games away from being winless. Think about that for a second. You need to wash your face. Get your mind right. You were 3 games away from not winning a single game. How does one do that? Once again, a rhetorical question. I don't need to know the answer to that because I don't want any parts of that. Go wipe yourself off. You're pissy. You're dripping with piss all over the place. Go clean yourself up. Take a week off. Air dry. Don't use a towel. Air dry. Just let all of that shit just kind of just out of your body. Let all of the piss and the stench of it just leave your body. Just let it just evaporate. Air dry. Take a week to air dry. Come back. Make me some picks. You can do better. So, those are our losers this week. Everybody lost. Celebrate. We were all losers. No, I'm not serious. Don't celebrate that. It's not good to lose. But in any event, because everyone lost, we did have some movement in the overall standings. So, let's take a gander at what has been done to the standings. You see we got co-leaders. See where you are in the winners and losers pool standings in week number 6. All right. So those are the standings this week. And hopefully you were able to find where you were. Hopefully you were able to move up in the standings. Hopefully you are making progress. And sad Colts fan, let me say, I did get your message. I did jerk you out of a win. You were right. I put you down for 8-6. You were 9-5. So I gave you your extra win on top of the wins that you put forth this week. So I want you to know that that did not go unnoticed. You did get your extra win from last week and the wins that you accumulated in week 6. So thank you for catching that and bringing it to my attention. With that being said, I'll get to a few of your comments and then we will get to the picks for the week and we'll get out of here. So let's see what we got. And Cloud says, remember you said the Panthers would beat us, LOL. Monday, it's put up or shut up time. I'm aware. I am aware. Look, it's one thing when I speak on another team that is not my own. I know you know that I know that you know that I know that you know that I know that we know what's at stake. Okay, you know that I'm aware of this. You were with me yesterday for the Redskins Report Live. Okay, I know that you know that I am aware of what's at stake. Okay, so you don't have to tell me. And just as you also know, when the game's done, whether we win or lose, you know where to find me. I'm not gonna run. You know where to find me. So if you beat us and you want to brag, you know where to find me. If you lose, you know where to find me. So, Cloud, one thing you must know, you always know where to find me. So, I'm not running from anything. We're going to win. We're going to win. It's not going to be easy. That's a good Philadelphia Eagles football team, but they smelling themselves. We're going to win. Brandon Sullivan says, thanks, Lou. Been a long-time fan. Finally showed up. Thanks for setting up Patreon. Glad I could help out. I appreciate the donation, definitely. And I encourage all of you to donate if you can, man, like my man Brandon and Andrew Kim have already done. And I appreciate you guys for doing that. Absolutely. Vegeta's Dark Side says, just call me Mr. Brightside. Well, can we get that side from you? I need it. Ricky L says, nice DMX reference. I try, man. I try sometimes. Andrew Kim says, this week will be the first time this year I am not watching the 1 o'clock p.m. Sunday games because I'm fishing bright and early, so LOL. So I can't really check the scores. Maybe that will benefit you. Maybe you just need to get away. You know? Maybe you just need to get away. Like those Southwest commercials. Want to get away? Maybe you just need to get away. FBG Tony says, what happened in week 6? So many retarded upsets. I got caught super duper lacking. It happens, man. It happens to the best of us. But 5-9? Hey, bro, I like I said, I don't know that guy, man. Maybe Protect 428 need to come back out or something. I don't know. We're going to see. It was a rough week, but still got to be better than 5-9, bro. Kevin! Kevin, I think you were 5-9 this week, Kevin. Yeah, you were 5-9. No, you were 6-8. Yeah, Kevin, I'm gonna need you to step it up, bro. All I'm gonna say to you is, Kevin. He said these upsets got me effed up. It happens to the best of us. The upsets were crucial. That's why no one won this week, because the upsets got us all. There were a few that you could have accounted for that I told you about, like Pittsburgh beating Kansas City. That was one that you could account for. No one saw the Giants going into Denver. No one saw the Dolphins going into Atlanta. No one saw, I can't say no one. My man Sean Mack saw Chicago going into Baltimore. The rest of us didn't. We didn't. I mean, and those are the ones that get you. Reese says, what up, Lou? Not looking good for Jameis to start. I'm worried. 2 to 4 2-4 would be a hard hole to dig out of. Well, I'm here to tell you, Ree, even if Jameis played, you were going to lose anyway. So why not give yourself a built-in excuse to lose at Buffalo so that you can feel better about your team? Because if Jameis plays and you lose, which if he would have played, you still would have lost, you would have felt even worse about being 2-4. At least if Jameis doesn't play in this game, you can say, well, Jameis didn't play. That's why we lost. We can still dig our... Look, you haven't played anybody in the division yet, if I'm not mistaken. You haven't played one single opponent in the NFC South. You can dig yourself up out of that hole. But it is tough to start 2-4. It is tough to start 2-4. I agree. However, you're not beating Buffalo in Buffalo. You don't stop the run well enough. They run it as good as anybody in the league, and you don't stop the run. That game last week was a farce. You let Adrian Peterson turn back the hands of time. If he can do that, Shady McCoy, the fire hydrant, bowling ball, Mike Tolbert, and Tyrod Taylor are all going to have a field day running the football against your defense, unless they're better. So we'll see. Reese says, starting to hate Mike Smith. He makes excuses. Lovey did that. Hey, it's what some guys are accustomed to. Some guys make excuses. Other guys make adjustments. He may be an excuses guy. If that's what he is, it's the reason why he's no longer a head coach. Because the good coaches in this league make adjustments. The bad coaches make excuses and they get fired. You might have an excuses guy on your hands. We'll see. Happy birthday, Ree. Everybody wish my man Ree a happy birthday. That's crazy, Ree. Today's my mom's birthday. So you and my mom share a birthday. So I will never, ever forget your birthday now. Happy birthday, man. Ree says, did you see Gordon Hayward's injury? Do you think Boston stands a chance in the East? This is off topic. We're not going to spend a lot of basketball time talking here, but no, I didn't see the injury. I've got it on my DVR. I plan on watching it tonight. I heard it was gruesome. And yes, Boston still stands a chance in the East. The East is garbage. There's still going to be a top 4 seed because the East, outside of Washington, Cleveland, and Toronto, maybe Milwaukee if they're ready to take a leap. And I know Milwaukee beat Boston tonight. Those are the top 5 teams in Boston, of course. Those are your top 5 seeds in the East. Boston should be able to crack the top 4. Take Toronto or Milwaukee out, insert Boston. They should be fine. Andrew Kim says, these last few weeks have been like me playing on Rainbow Road. I'm terrible at Mario Kart. LMA. I love Mario Kart, and Rainbow Road was so awesome. I was a beast on Rainbow Road. You didn't want it with me on Rainbow Road. Anyway, FBG Toady says, I got to bounce back, bro. We all do. Cloud says, I'm not talking shit no more, man. I am waiting till I hit double digits. I hear it, man. I've heard many people say that. It is very enticing to wait, but how long are you willing to wait? That could be 5 weeks from now. Squints1 says, don't worry, fam. I'll be back. I'll be right back. Okay? I'll take your word for it. We'll see. BE says, in the 3 weeks the Cardinals lost, I went 11-5, 10-4, and 13-3. In the 3 weeks we won, I went 9-6, 6-8, and 7-9. What are you trying to say, B&E? Or BE? What are you trying to say, man? What are you trying to say? You need your Cardinals to lose for you to pick well? What are you trying to say, man? I know you would prefer for your Cardinals to win, so what are you trying to say? Oh, man. All right. BK Soldier says, hoping this week is better. We all are. He also says, I picked the Rams. Oh, you did? Good for you. I thought you would have picked the Jags. Good for you. That's smart, man. You're a smart man. Cloud says, my Sixers are going to go to the playoffs because the East is so weak. That's if the process can stay healthy. You should make it to the postseason this year, but if he's not able to stay healthy, I don't know. We'll see. Reese says, we're going to have Quan back, Lou. He's the heart and soul of our defense. You forgot about that. So you say, Ree. So you say. We'll see. I was quite disappointed in your performance. I picked you guys to win last week. I thought you were going to go into the desert and exert some form of will and dominance over the Cardinals, and it was the total opposite. And at least you made it a game. I can say that. But still, you were down 31-0. That is like the epitome of not showing up. I understand you're not used to playing games on the West Coast, and the game started at 4:05, and I get it. But 4:05 West Coast time is 1:05 East Coast time, which is what time you normally kick off. Or they've been giving you a lot of evening games lately, which I don't know who thinks it's a good idea for Tampa to play games at 4:05 in the afternoon. It's going to rain a lot. Stop doing that. Anyway, Vegeta's Dark Side says, maybe the vegan talk last week jinxed the week. Maybe it did. Maybe it imparted some knowledge and I dropped the gem on your melon. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. I don't know. Maybe. Pepe the YouTuber says, also off topic, but have you witnessed my Astros collapse against the Yankees? I saw bits and pieces of it. You're still going to win the series because the Yankees are... Now, I'll tell you this much. The Yankees did the same exact thing versus the Indians in the first round. They fell down 0-2, went home, won 2 games straight, and then went on the road and dusted off the Indians. The key is you need to go home and protect your house. All they did was what they were supposed to do, win at home. Now, yes, you epically blew it in game 4, but it's okay. You still have games at home. The key is win at home. You do that, you're going to win the series. That's why winning all those games during the regular season matters. But baseball, much like hockey, one of those sports where home field advantage really doesn't make you that big a difference come playoff time. It doesn't matter at all. BK Soldier says, Jags getting new uniforms next season. Can't wait. Okay, we'll see. I'm anxious to see what they decide to do because they just got new uniforms like 5 to 7 years ago. So they're one of those teams like the Broncos that seem to be changing unis every 5 to 7 years. So we'll see what happens. But in any event, that's going to do it for the show tonight. I'm going to leave you guys with my picks as I always do, and always remind you to donate if you can. Those are the links. Those are the ways to do so. If you cannot donate, just continue to support the channel, but the links are in the description below the video, along with all my social media links as well. I'll leave you with my week 7 picks. I feel really good about these picks. The only thing that I can say I don't feel really good about is the amount of road teams that I took this week. It's an astronomical amount. That's my spoiler alert. It's an astronomical amount of road teams that I've taken this week. But with that being said, I think this could be, and there's going to be 2 or 3 weeks this season where road teams dominate. I just hope I get it right. I hope this is one of those weeks. And so with that being said, if it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here on the Louie T Network. Come back and join me as I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. I thank each and every single one of you for joining me and chopping it up with me tonight on Winners and Losers. Continue to send me your picks. Get them in on time. No one wants to take a loss for being late to Thursday night. So please send your picks in a timely, orderly fashion. You know where to leave them on the discussion tab on the Louie T Network YouTube page. So find that, leave your picks there, do it before Thursday Night Football kicks off. With that being said, I leave you with my week 7 picks. Enjoy the rest of your night. I will see you tomorrow for Thursday Night Football overtime. Enjoy. Have a great night. Okay, looking at the Week 7 slate in the National Football League, 15 games on tap, so they add another game back to the schedule, meaning only 2 teams have a bye week in week number 7. So an extra game to get you an extra win, or for some of you who struggle, an extra loss. Either way, 15 games on the slate, no excuse not to get back to double digits this week. And so this is an unorthodox week for me because I've got a ton of roadies this week, and I'm not comfortable with roadies, but I've told you before in the past, there's going to be 1 or 2 weeks throughout the season where roadies take over, and I think this could be one of those weeks. A number of revenge games and teams on the road that I think have a little bit of an edge to go out, an extra incentive, if you will, to go out and get wins. And so let's look at this week 7 slate of games, and let me give you some winners for the action in week number 7. We start on Thursday Night Football, AFC West family business, Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Oakland Raiders. Raiders struggling, losers of 4 straight, and they're just discombobulated right now. This team lacks identity. They lack playmaking ability. Outside of Krabs, no one on that offense is making any plays of any kind. And Cordero Patterson, okay? Those are the 2 guys right now making plays for the Raiders. Outside of those guys, there's really not much that Raiders offense can offer you. The defense still struggling, even though the last couple of games against Denver and if you take out the Baltimore result when they had no corners, this team has played better defensively. I don't know if that holds up against a Chiefs team that has dominated the Raiders over the last 3 or 4 seasons straight. So the Chiefs lost their first game of the season. They're missing some key parts. Still don't know if Albert Wilson is going to play. Charkandrick West is out of this football game with that concussion. Nonetheless, I still think the Chiefs bounce back, get back to their winning ways in this football game. I'll take the Chiefs on the road to start my road adventure in week number 7 as we go to the Sunday slate of games. You start with Tampa at Buffalo. Bills coming off of a bye. I don't really know what that means anymore. I mean, we saw Atlanta come off a bye and lose. We saw the Redskins come off a bye, almost lose. So I really don't know what that means. We saw the Saints come off a bye and put up 45 in 2.5 quarters, but almost blow that lead. So I don't know what coming off of a bye means anymore. I just know the Bills are healthier than the Bucs. Jameis Winston probably going to play, but playing with a sprained AC joint. I don't like this Bucs team on the road and against a Bills team that their primary focus offensively is to run the football, something that the Bucs didn't do well, stopping the run last week against Arizona. That worries me. I'll take the Bills at home coming off the bye to take care of the Buccaneers in that one. Carolina at Chicago. This is a dangerous game. The Bears are at home, and the one thing that the Bears do is run the football. Can Carolina stop that consistently? I'm not sure, especially if Luke Kuechly isn't playing. I don't know if he's playing or not. I'd probably side with no. And if he's not playing, maybe the Bears do have some success running the football. Maybe they are able to get after Cam Newton. Maybe they are able to force a turnover or 2 and give themselves a chance like they did against Pittsburgh, like they did against Atlanta at home. I don't know the answer to that, but I can tell you this much. If you're Carolina, your one sole focus and purpose defensively should be stop the run and make Mitchell Trubisky beat you. Yet hasn't proven that he can do that yet. If you stop the run, they're going to give it to Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen a combined 40 times in this game. And if you allow them to have success, you're going to be in for a dogfight. You take away the run game and you reduce that to next to nothing. You're going to beat this team and beat them handily because Mitchell Trubisky isn't ready to lead this team to a victory. That being said, I don't trust Carolina, but I don't trust the Bears either. I'll take Carolina on the road, but that one worries me of all of my road selections. You go to the next game, Tennessee at Cleveland. This one is simple for me. The Browns are suspended from my sheet indefinitely. Done. Give me the Titans on the road to win that football game. New Orleans at Green Bay. This is a fascinating game. The Saints are playing their best football of the season by far. 3 straight wins after starting the season 0-2. Packers lose Aaron Rodgers last week. You finally get 1 whole week of practice to implement an offensive game plan that will suit Brett Hundley. I expect him to look light years better than he did against the Vikings where he threw 3 interceptions. I think they're going to get their act together. This one is a little dicey. I could easily see New Orleans going in there and having some success and coming out with a W. However, I trust that the Packers defensively will get some things done. I trust that the Packers will find a way to draw up some plays that Brett Hundley can be successful at. And this Saints defense, still a work in progress. I expect the Packers to be able to get some things done offensively and find a way to win in Lambeau against this Saints team. I'll take the Packers in that one. Jacksonville at Indianapolis, sticking to the script, all right? Jacksonville wins one week, loses the next, wins one week, loses the next. And really, to be more specific, it's ass whooping one week, lose the next week, ass whooping one week, lose the next week, ass whooping one week, lose the next week. Well, they're due for an ass whooping this week, and the Colts just happen to be the team in front of them. Colts at home this season have won the two games that they have won have been at home, but they've been against teams with no wins on the season. Jacoby Brissett is capable of beating this Jacksonville Jaguars team. He's also capable of having 3 or 4 turnovers versus this aggressive, stingy Jacksonville Jaguars defense. I think that this Jags defense is primed for another destructive outing where they turn a team over 3 or 4 times, take one of those back to the crib, and win a game on the road in destructive and physical brute force fashion. I'll take the Jags on the road in some AFC South family business for the Jags to go into Indy and beat those boys something like 27-13. I'll take the Jags as another roadie in week 7. You go to Arizona and the Rams, big game in the NFC West division, more family business. A lot of family business being conducted in week 7. Here's another example of that. Big game in that division. 3-3 Cardinals coming off their most impressive victory of the season, taking on the Los Angeles Rams, who have been playing great football throughout this year at 4-2. This is a statement game for the Rams. It's also a home game. I think it's in London. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I've been hearing. But the game is starting at 1 o'clock nonetheless. So maybe it is in London, maybe it's not. Bottom line is, it doesn't matter where this game is. It's not in Arizona. That means the Rams need to find a way to win. I think they're the better, more complete team. And if they can stop Adrian Peterson in that run game, which all of a sudden has rejuvenated that Arizona Cardinals football team, they've got a great shot at getting after Carson Palmer, forcing some turnovers, and winning that football game. I'll take the Rams in that game to prove that they're serious about trying to win the NFC West this season. And this is a huge spot for them. They need to have it more so than the Cardinals do. I'll take the Rams in this football game. You go to the next contest, Jets at Dolphins, more family business. This of the AFC East variety. This is a game that earlier in the season, the Jets destroyed and dismantled the Dolphins 20-6 in a game that should have been a shutout. Dolphins literally scored their lone touchdown of the game on the final play of the game. And so this has to be a measure of revenge here for the Dolphins, who went and got an improbable win on the road against Atlanta last week. I think that serves as a little bit of confidence. The key to the Dolphins offense has been and will continue to be the running game with Jay Ajayi and company. If they can run the football against this Jets defense, which I think they should be able to do, they have a great opportunity to win. If they can't run the football and then all of the pressure resides with Jay Cutler, they could be in for another loss to this Jets football team, the second of which this season. Nonetheless, I don't see the Jets finding a way to win this game. I think their magic is over. Those 3 games they won in a row earlier in the season, that was nice, that was cute, that's done. Give me the Dolphins at home to protect the house. Wouldn't shock me in the least if the Dolphins fell flat on their face and allowed the Jets to sweep them this season. Baltimore at Minnesota. The Ravens, I am so sick and tired of the Ravens this year and their anemic offense. They're going into the wrong place to try to win with an offense that is just putrid and disgusting to watch. This Minnesota Vikings defense, doesn't matter who's at quarterback, doesn't matter who's at running back, they're getting it done offensively, and that defense is going to shut down one of the worst offenses in the league. I'll take Minnesota and not think twice about it at home to beat up the Baltimore Ravens. Dallas coming off of a bye week at San Francisco. The 49ers are going to beat someone at some point. Will it be the Cowboys? They're going to have Ezekiel Elliott. I guess that whole saga is a mess, and frankly, I'm sick and tired of it. Make a decision, stick with it, and let's move on. Bottom line is, he's playing in this game. That should be good enough to allow the 49ers to not get their first win in this game. I'll take the Cowboys on the road. It may be closer than a lot of people think, but I still think when the 49ers finally do get a victory, it'll be inside the division, and this is not a divisional game. I'll take the Cowboys on the road to get back to 500 at 3-3 on the season. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. The Steelers come off of their biggest win of the season versus the Kansas City Chiefs. That's a big win for them. They still haven't found their offensive stride yet. Bottom line is Cincinnati coming off of a bye. They're playing their best football of the season. I still don't have the most confidence in Cincinnati's ability to get it done. I think Pittsburgh at home finds a way to win this game. I'll take the Steelers at home to find a way. And last time they were at home, it was a mess. I think they're over that. They're a better football team than what they showed last time at home versus Jacksonville. I'll take Pittsburgh to win and protect the house versus Cincinnati in this football game. As we go to the next contest, another family business matchup. We go from the AFC North family business matchup of Cincinnati and Pittsburgh to an AFC or West family business matchup, this being Denver at Los Angeles Chargers. For me, the Chargers are hot right now. That doesn't sway me one way or the other. They still haven't looked impressive in those 2 victories that they've gotten after starting the season 0-4. I don't think Anthony Lynn has figured anything out. I don't think this team finally gets it and they're going to start winning games all of a sudden. I just think they ran into 2 teams that were struggling, that they were able to just eke out victories versus. That being said, this Denver Broncos team is banged up in every kind of way imaginable. They still will be without Shane Ray for at least another week or 2. Still no Jake Butt at the tight end position. Now you lose Emmanuel Sanders, who won't be able to play in this game. You also lose your return man and receiver, McKenzie, who isn't going to be able to play due to an injury. You got all kinds of banged up in that Giants contest. Also, still without your special teams receiver out of Indiana. He's not playing in this game either. I don't like this game for the Broncos. I can tell you this much. If Demaryius Thomas steps up like he did against the Giants last week and they're able to run the football, something they weren't able to do against the Giants, which the Chargers have been allowing everyone to do this year, they got a shot on the road to get it done. But I just feel like the Chargers have the momentum. They're the healthier football team. Trevor Siemian is struggling right now to me. And if they can somehow, some way, and I don't trust them to stop the run, but if they can somehow, some way slow down the Broncos' rushing attack, I think the Chargers can win this game at home. It's not even a home game, really. They haven't won at home this season at home, but I'll still take them. I'll probably regret this when it's all said and done, but I'll take the Chargers at home to win their first home game of the season. Seattle at the New York Giants. What the Giants did was impressive on Sunday Night Football on the road versus Denver. But that was against Denver, and this is not Denver. This is a different defense in Seattle coming off of a bye week. I expect Seattle defensively to really make the Giants look meager offensively. That being said, the Seahawks themselves look meager offensively most weeks. And so you still don't know what you're getting out of Seattle. But I do know this. They're a lot healthier than they were coming into this game or going into the bye week 2 weeks ago. That helps them offensively. They struggle with some injuries. They should be healthy. They should be able to score some points. They should be able to stop the Giants from scoring points. I'll take the Seahawks on the road to find a way to win against the Giants. You go to Sunday Night Football, huge matchup, rematch of the Super Bowl, Atlanta Falcons and New England Patriots. Patriots have struggled at home this year. Falcons are struggling of late, losers of 2 straight, both at home to AFC East opponents. It's about time they snap that streak. In this game, the buildup, the hype surrounding this game, the storyline going into the game is going to be the debacle that was 28-3. They're going to hear about it all week. They're going to hear about it pregame. They're going to hear about it all week long leading up to the game. They're sick and tired of hearing about it. They're upset. They're frustrated. They know that they should have been Super Bowl champions, and they're out for a measure of revenge, and they're going to get it. The Patriots defensively aren't a good football team. The Falcons are going to break out in this game, score a ton of points, and win in New England just like Carolina did, just like Houston should have, just like Kansas City did. I'll take the Falcons on the road to exact a measure of revenge versus the New England Patriots. You go to Monday Night Football, more family business to cap off Week 7 in a week filled with family business. This time, Washington Redskins on the road taking on the Philadelphia Eagles, who right now look like the best team in the NFC. Not just the NFC East, but in the NFC conference overall. The Eagles are sporting a 5-1 record. They've got wins over the Redskins already on the road, Carolina on the road. This has been an impressive team to start this season out. But the Redskins have their backs up against the wall at 3-2, with this game really being the savior game in the division. They lose this game and the Eagles go to 6-1, sweep the Redskins, go to 3-0 overall in the division. It's going to be pretty tough for anyone to catch the Eagles at that point. And so the Redskins know what's at stake in this football game. Redskins are being disrespected. No one's giving them a chance. The Eagles, I think, are starting to smell themselves. They're getting a little cocky. I think this is a letdown game for the Eagles. The Redskins go into Philadelphia and find a way to win. This is a really good Redskins team. They're finding out just how good they are. They've got a ton of injuries, but they're finding a way to win despite the injuries, which is something this team has not been able to do in past years. And I think they find a way to rally around each other, go to Philadelphia and get an improbable victory and tighten up that divisional race that seems to be getting out of control, as the Eagles have been outstanding to start this season. So quickly to recap my picks, I've got 8 road winners, more than I do home games, home winners. That's a scary proposition for me, but I'm confident in what I've put forth, except for maybe 1 or 2 picks where I'm a little shaky on, but it is what it is. Let's make it do what it do. So here goes my Week 7 winners. Quickly, Chiefs, Bills, Panthers, Titans, Packers, Jags. You've got the Rams, Dolphins, Vikings, Cowboys, Steelers, Chargers, Seahawks, Falcons, Redskins. Those are my Week 7 winners. Looking forward to seeing who you think is going to get it done in week number 7 in the National Football League. Have a good one, and may your picks be good ones. See you next time.